watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. Look who's back for day 2.
Exactly. Great to be here. I'm Sarah Carlson filling in for Susan. She'll be off the rest of this week.
Yeah, she's missing our fall weather. Temperatures are expected to drop way down, so how bundled up will students need to be at the bus stop tomorrow morning? Meteorologist Jacob Madison joins us from our weather patio. Jacob?
Yeah, tonight into tomorrow morning will likely be the coldest it's been in months, as we'll see clear skies and calm wind, just a perfect ingredients for those very cool temperatures. Now, right now, you definitely can feel the chill in the air, especially compared to yesterday. Right now, we're in the middle 60s, a few upper 60s here and there, but compared to 24 hours ago, we are about 10 to 15 degrees colder than this time yesterday. Now, the good news is that the rainfall we saw this early is mostly cleared out. We've continued to see some lingering showers for areas to the south and southeast of Madison, but we're not expecting much in the form of rainfall for the rest of the night. Now, as we take a look at the forecast for the rest of the night, we can't completely rule out an isolated shower, but skies are going to become partly cloudy to mostly clear during the overnight hours. And as I talked about a moment ago, this will be the perfect recipe for very cool temperatures, and we are expecting lows to drop into the lower 40s, maybe even upper 30s for some areas off to the north. So it is definitely going to be a chilly start to the day, and even in the afternoon, it's not going to be a warm one. Now, it's still going to be comfortable by the afternoon, but well below normal. And I'll talk more in detail about how these temperatures are going to continue through the end of the week coming up a bit later.
Thank you so much, Jacob. I have to admit, Brady, that I brought a coat with me today.
You have to.
I wimped out right away. I couldn't help it.
It was like a light switch. All of a sudden it's fall now.
And this is going to be the hot weather come March, right? Of next year. All right, thanks so much, Jacob. Well, right now, as Madison students get ready to start the school year, whether you're in an AP class or not, the grades will count or weigh the same.
Arman Rahman is showing us why the district chose to keep its non-weighted grading system and some possible challenges. Arman?
That's right, Brady and Sarah. Now, just a refresher course. I hope you like my arts and crafts. A grade would mean making an A in an AP class count for 4.5 or 5.0 points instead of 4, and so on with a B, a C, and a D. The Universities of Wisconsin system last August started Direct Admit and Wisconsin Guarantee, which would guarantee admission for applicants from state high schools ranked in the top 10% of their class. That's what started the conversation in MMSD to move to a weighted grading system. District officials say they heard from students, families, and staff in a survey that looked at how more than 50 surrounding districts did things, and they examined how colleges evaluate student transcripts before deciding to keep the grades as is.
We felt that the unweighted system, our current system, aligned with our value on having students choose a course of study and a curriculum that was both rigorous and aligned to their interests in ways that would make them better prepared for post-secondary success, versus taking a course based on a perceived value due to a weighting.
Now, back when the district began this process, I spoke to students who said they would have been direct admit candidates, but felt left behind because they got a B in an AP class. And educators who said weighted grades can create an achievement gap for some students. Now, MMSD officials tell me of the 56 districts part of the Wisconsin Guarantee program that they looked at, 29 weighed their grades and 26 did not.
All right, Alron, thank you so much. In other news, Wisconsin's Department of Workforce Development has awarded just under $1 million in equipment grants to school districts across the state. The Wisconsin Fast Forward grants will help buy things like welders, upgraded current equipment, and other advanced manufacturing machines. 19 districts were awarded grants, including the school district of Beloit in Rock County, with a $100,000 grant in order to enhance their welding program. Also, another $100,000 grant at the Portage Community School District to upgrade equipment.
Madison police are looking for a missing man. According to MPD, Karsten Walker has not been seen in several days. Officers responded to a report of a missing person on the Nakusa Trail on August 27th. Anyone with information, please contact the Madison Police Department at 608-255-2345. To remain anonymous, contact Madison Area Crime Stoppers at 608-266-6014 or submit a tip at p3tips.com.
After a months-long investigation, police in Janesville say a convicted sex offender was talking with a child in Ohio and was found to have child pornography on his phone. Investigators say they received a tip in April that this man was talking with a minor. So over the course of 4 months, detectives from Janesville and Delavan served warrants and interviewed the man. They did find child pornography on his phone. He now faces multiple charges, including 5 counts of child pornography possession, sexual exploitation of a child, and exposing himself to a child.
Accusers of the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and his incarcerated co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell gathered on Capitol Hill this morning to share their stories and push for all of the Epstein files to be released.
And that's beyond what the Justice Department has made public so far. Natalie Brand has details from Washington.
For so many years, it felt like Epstein's criminal behavior was an open secret.
One by one, women who say they were victimized and abused by Jeffrey Epstein shared their stories, some for the first time publicly.
I was one of dozens of girls that I personally know who were forced into Jeffrey's mansion.
The survivor stood alongside Republican Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky and Democratic Representative Ro Khanna of California, who are trying to force a vote requiring that the Justice Department turn over all files related to the case within 30 days. House Democrats, along with a handful of Republicans, are supporting the effort, including Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We are going to fight like hell for these women because we have to fight like hell for those that are enduring sexual abuse and are living in a prison of shame.
President Trump, who was friends with Epstein before a falling out, once again called the push for more information a Democrat hoax.
Thousands of pages of documents have been given, but it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
The House Oversight Committee, which had subpoenaed the DOJ for Epstein records, on Tuesday released more than 33,000 pages it's obtained so far. But Congressman Khanna says that's just a fraction of what's in the files, and most of what they've received has already been made public. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Much of the newly released information had already been made public, but it did include unseen surveillance video outside Epstein's jail cell the night he died by suicide, as well as flight logs documenting travel with young women.
Coming up next on Live at 4, Josh is heading back to school again in the 608. This time he's at the Middleton Cross Plains Aquatic Center, talking with the high school girls swim and dive team.
And we take a more in-depth look at your first warn forecast. We saw some rain overnight with a major cool down coming tonight. Jacob shows us more.
And if you're a new student starting out the year here in Madison, the city could be unfamiliar. We highlight some easy things to do for Madison newbies. Well, it is the first week of school for many kids in the 608, if not most, and that includes the Middleton Cross Plains Area School District.
Josh Sprider continues our back-to-school coverage with some of their excitement right now.
Well, back to school week means a lot of things for students, especially when it comes to fall sports. We're at Middleton High School. We're checking out the Aquatic Center, which recently had some renovations, and we're also talking to a couple of senior swimmers. I have Sulia and Maggie joining us today. Girls, thanks so much for having us here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Sulia, I want to start with you. What is it like to be a senior swimmer here at Middleton?
I mean, it's really incredible to see the legacy that has come before us and kind of we've been able to leave our impact as seniors, and especially as captains, we plan everything. We make all the activities, etc. It's really awesome.
And Maggie, what is your team like this year?
It's great, honestly. I think we're really close-knit this year, and I mean, of course, we have a really fast team. We're going for year 3 at winning state, and I think it's just really good this year, and I'm excited to see how it goes in the season.
So I know the Aquatic Center recently had some renovations. It's looking nice and fresh in here today.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's so much brighter white compared to before.
Makes a difference, right? And, talk about your team here. How many girls do you swim with, and what is the vibe like?
So we have 54 girls, 54 swimmers, 6 divers, and I mean, we're split into JV and varsity practice groups, but I think we all really know each other really well. We do a lot of team bonding together, which is amazing.
So you mentioned you're going for a 3-peat, so I would imagine there's got to be a little pressure for this year.
There definitely is. I mean, everybody in the state's sort of looking at Middleton, waiting for us to perform, and I mean, I think we will, but
being seniors, you guys are obviously the leaders of this group. You're also the team captain. So what is it like seeing some of these girls grow over time too?
It's really amazing. I mean, we're able to see their growth as not only swimmers but as human beings. Our teammates that are younger than us are looking up to our seniors last year, and then are now looking up to us, and it's really awesome to see what they can do and how they're growing.
So obviously you guys are representing Middleton. How can Middleton residents come out and support you guys this season?
We have dual meets every Friday, so if you ever want to come down here, we can watch our swimming, and then we also have invites on Saturdays that can be watched.
Awesome. Well, Sulia, Maggie, thank you so much for having us here. We appreciate it. And if you'd like to learn more about what's happening here for the girls swim and dive team at Middleton High School, just go to the story up on channel3000.com. In Middleton, I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
Thanks, Josh. News 3 Now's 40th annual Coats for Kids winter coat collection is kicking off next Monday, September 8th, with an all-day Pack the Truck event. From 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County will have a van parked outside Clinky Cleaners, Monona Drive location, to collect donations, including kids' winter jackets and accessories. There is a special need for infant, toddler, and larger teen sizes. Adult donations are also accepted. You can also make donations at any Dane County Clinky Cleaners or the News 3 Now lobby until October 4th.
Speaking of kids, it's time. I should have said coats and kids. We need to look at our forecast and the kids at the bus stop and maybe even needing a sweatshirt or a jacket. Jacob has our first warm weather.
Yeah, tomorrow morning they may need that coat at the bus stop, as we're going to see low temperatures in the lower 40s, and throughout the morning it's going to, at the warmest, be in the 50s. And as far as rainfall goes, we're going to see that return Thursday night, and in general we're going to continue to see below normal temperatures. Highs will be in the 60s through the weekend. Now, as we take a look at that rainfall forecast, not going to see anything tonight. What we will see are those clear skies that will help the temperatures fall, and then throughout the day on Thursday, especially early, we'll see sunshine with more clouds developing later, especially for areas north of Madison, with some showers moving in later in the day. But the better chance of rain will come overnight, and the best chance of rain in general will be for areas north of Madison, mostly in the form of showers. A few isolated storms are possible, but considering that most of this will happen during the overnight hours, not going to be too impactful. And then once we get to Friday, we are going to see on and off cloud cover with mostly dry conditions, but also breezy conditions. And looking at the wind gust forecast, right now it is a little breezy out there for sure, but the winds are going to calm down tonight and not really rise too much for Thursday. Gusts around 20 miles per hour, but then Thursday night into Friday, they're really going to pick up. Wind gusts up around 25 to 30 miles per hour, and this is going to continue for most of the day on Friday, especially early Friday, with those winds calming down once we get to Friday night. And the weekend, the winds aren't going to be all that bad, but the winds are kind of a driving factor in these temperatures, as we are certainly going to see those below normal temps tonight and for the next few days. Lows will be in the lower 40s tonight under mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, and partly sunny skies are in the forecast for tomorrow. And despite the fact that we'll see a good amount of sunshine, those highs are only going to be in the middle to lower 60s. But thankfully by the weekend, although we're still easily going to be below normal, the lack of wind and the abundance of sunshine will lead to some pretty comfortable conditions, especially for those afternoon hours. Partly sunny Saturday, mostly sunny Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, let's take a look at the Packers game forecast in Green Bay. Looking very good. Definitely just bring a sweater, but when you're in the sun, you may not need it, considering, as I mentioned, not really going to see a lot of wind. So overall, if you're attending the game, really just enjoy it, because the weather is going to be very nice. And going forward, the weather will be pretty good for next week, as we're not really going to see a ton of rainfall, not really a lot of chances after Thursday, and those temperatures are going to warm up as well. We're expecting highs back in the 70s, then maybe upper 70s by the end of next week.
Oh, what a roller coaster. Thanks, Jacob. Well, the numbers on Wall Street today. The Dow dropped nearly 25 points. The Nasdaq is up 218. The S&P 500 picked up 32 points. Coming up on Live at 4, if you're a new college student experiencing Madison for the first time, it can feel overwhelming. Remember how that felt?
Oh, I do.
Yeah. So we're helping you find some fun things to do to help you settle in.
And later on, if you live in Middleton, you have some energy credits you can use, but they're going away soon. We have all of the details after this.
Now, today is the first day of classes for UW-Madison students. For incoming students, they're getting a taste of college life and, in some cases, a brand new city.
Ah, the days. But life beyond the residence halls may be daunting. When you move to a big new city, what can you do and where do you go for fun? We have a few quick ideas to help you start settling in.
Well, first and foremost, welcome to Madison. We're happy to have you here. But I bet you're thinking, I wish I had a tour guide so I knew what I can do in this great city. Well, I'm going to try to help you out with that. I'm here with Jason Ilstrup with Downtown Madison, Inc. Hi.
It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you. This is such a great time to be in Madison, to move here, and there's just so much to do, but if you don't know where to start, that can be overwhelming. What are some things that people can do? I'm looking at one of them right here behind us.
There are many things to do. This is a fun time of the year to move to Madison with so many new students, with young professionals moving to the city. It is one of the highlights of the year, late summer, early fall. Just behind us is one of my favorite things to do. Now, this is a hidden gem, so don't tell too many folks, but you can, of course, take the tour of the Capitol, which I would highly recommend. But up on the 7th floor, there's an observation deck where you get a 360 panoramic view of the city. You get to see why it's called an isthmus. You get to see the whole campus, the east side. It is truly the #1 thing I do with any out-of-town visitor. And so for folks that actually live here, they might not have that opportunity. So check out the observation deck.
I was up there a couple of weeks ago looking out, and it's amazing. And then you see, you have the lakes, you have all these businesses. Basically, you can just walk around and find something to do here.
Yeah, I would highly recommend starting with the Capitol Square. There are so many great restaurants, stores like For Imagination right on the Capitol Square. Head down to State Street with all of the unique stores and restaurants on State Street. The Union is a must. It's the #1 visited tourist attraction in the entire downtown. What could be better than having ice cream, beer, water activities all in one place? I would highly recommend the Wisconsin Union. Then take a walk down the Lakeshore Path. It is just gorgeous and end at Picnic Point. It's one of the highlights of the downtown area.
Yeah. What are some new things that maybe even people who live here, if they're looking for something to do, lived here for a long time if they're looking for something to do?
Yeah, there's a lot of new activity happening in a downtown. Downtowns are organic, right? So you have businesses that open and close. And right now we're seeing a surge of new businesses opening, particularly restaurants. There's Asherwad, a great new Indian restaurant on State Street. Donato, an amazing sandwich place right on Webster. You've got Pink Heifer and these Pink Flamingo Breakfast Club, these great places. But we're also very excited about some new apartment developments that have come into the downtown, including Baker's Place, which will have a wonderful coffee shop called Copa Vida out of California. But we have 109 on 109 East Wilson Street, which will have the largest food hall in downtown that'll open here in October with locally owned restaurants. I think they have 7, 8 restaurants right in the food hall, a beautiful cutout towards the Lake Monona waterfront, and a new steakhouse restaurant and speakeasy, all located right in that building. So that's going to be one of the highlights opening up here in October.
109 on 109 Wilson, that's easy to remember.
Perfect, exactly. The marketers got that one right.
Yeah, I remember when I started my freshman year of college, it gets so easy to just stay on campus and maybe feel like I don't really want to leave my dorm, but there is a whole big life out here. And is it easy to, if you venture off campus, to just start acclimating yourself to your new community?
Yeah, I would highly recommend to new students, come on up. Come up to the Capitol Square, come up to State Street, come up to King Street. There is so much activity happening. And honestly, since COVID, we've seen more and more students do that. We see more and more students at Wonder State a wonderful coffee shop at Ancora, these great locally owned businesses that are right here in downtown. Come check this out. You never know, you might find a place to live after you graduate.
Yeah. And if people didn't write all this down, where can they find a sort of a guide or map to all these wonderful places?
Absolutely. If you go to visitdowntownmadison.com, it's a wonderful site. Also, visitmadison.com as well has wonderful materials. Check out Madison Central Business Improvement District and Destination Madison in particular. They have a lot of ideas for things to do throughout the year.
After hearing all that, I think I should take the day off and just go visit all these things that you mentioned.
Let's go right now.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much.
And a plot twist, I did come in to work after all.
I know, and it just brings back my days of being a college student and wanting to kind of hit the reset button and do it all over again. It's fantastic.
It is fun to have those reminders that there's so much to do. We just have to kind of look for it.
Yep.
Well, on that website, there are categories, separate categories that break down places to eat, shop, and explore, and more. Again, that's downtownmadison.org.
And of course, now I'm hungry today. All right, later on Live at 4, we have Miss Teen Wisconsin in the studio to talk about the competition and what's next.
But first, the city of Fitchburg could dissolve its local dispatch operations and hand things over to Dane County. The reasons and what that change could look like.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Welcome to Live at 4, everyone. Earlier we were talking about all the things there are to do in this area, but if you are out and about, maybe a light sweater would be a good idea.
A light one or a heavy one, depending on your gauge. The weather words today, staying chilly. First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano joins us from the patio. I don't know if you're chilly yet, but you've got a coat on. How chilly will it be or stay?
Well, tonight is going to be the coldest air we've seen in months, and pretty easily, I should point out, as we could see a few 30s out there. Now, right now we're in the 60s, definitely comfortable out here. You can definitely feel a little bit of a chill as the temperature is much cooler compared to this time yesterday by about 10 to 15 degrees. Some areas even colder than that compared to this time yesterday. Now, a big reason for that, we had a cold front move through, and that's been bringing in some breezy conditions. Around 10 to 20 miles per hour are the current wind speeds. You can kind of feel it out here as well. The winds are a bit breezy. And looking at the current radar, the rain is pretty much done. We are seeing a few lingering showers for areas just to the east of Madison. That's been the case throughout the entire day. But that consistent rain we saw this morning, we're not going to see that for the rest of the night or tomorrow. But we will see clear skies, which will allow temperatures to fall quite a bit. Lower 40s are the forecast for tonight. As I mentioned, a few upper 30s, mainly for areas north of Madison. And northern Wisconsin is actually under a frost advisory for tonight. So very unseasonably cool temperatures tonight. And looking at tomorrow, it will be comfortable by the afternoon, but we're going to see temperatures about as far off from normal during the afternoon tomorrow as they will tonight. So the average high is supposed to be in the upper 70s. We're going to be in the lower 60s, and that's going to continue for Friday and for the most part the weekend as well. So I'll talk more in detail about that and show you our next chance of rain coming up a bit later.
Thank you, Jacob. In the near future, the next time you call 911 in the city of Fitchburg, dispatch may not be coming from the city, but from Dane County.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks spoke with the city's police chief about the change.
Changes may be on the way for the city of Fitchburg and their police dispatch. I had the chance to speak with the city's police chief on what those changes may be. The city of Fitchburg is one of the fastest growing cities in the Madison Metro. The population growing by over 10,000 residents since 2013. And that growth has put a strain on the city's 911 dispatch center. In the next city council meeting, Fitchburg Common Council will vote on whether or not to eliminate the city's dispatch center, shifting the job to the county, who's already been helping with the city's 4 full-time dispatchers.
The county dispatch services has the capacity to do this. That's been an area that we've been unable to fund or fully staff for several years. So utilizing them more on a full-time basis can easily be accommodated by the county.
If passed, the change will take effect sometime in October. Fitchburg Common Council will vote on these changes next Tuesday, September 9th. For now, reporting in Fitchburg, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Madison police say they were called to the east side after a vehicle was hit by gunfire. Officers say they were called to Packers Avenue, just west of the airport yesterday. Police say the vehicle was shot through the radiator and into the engine. The vehicle was parked overnight and no one was inside. If you have any information on this, please call Madison Police at the bottom of your screen.
2 Wisconsin facilities that help veterans who are homeless could close at the end of the month if state lawmakers don't find a funding solution. The Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs says programs in Green Bay and Chippewa Falls will shut down September 30th after federal COVID relief funds that kept them operating ran out. Together, the sites provide 41 beds, along with meals, housing support, and counseling. Lawmakers are now debating whether to extend state funding.
Now imagine you are a Republican in the state legislature, in the majority and in control, and you could keep those facilities open. But you choose not to. It's unthinkable and it's unimaginable. But sadly, that is the reality we find ourselves today.
Republicans on the Joint Finance Committee say other funding sources should cover the program, but Democrats argue that money is gone. Veterans groups, including the Wisconsin VFW, are calling on lawmakers to act before the September 30th deadline.
The federal Inflation Reduction Act's clean energy incentives are being phased out. However, Dane County residents still have time to take advantage of rebates and credits. Up to $7,500 in savings for new and used electric vehicles are ending September 30th, and the 30% rebate on solar installations lasts until December. Rebates for certain energy-efficient upgrades will continue. For more information on how to apply, you can visit daneclimateaction.org. New data released today suggests the labor market is slowing down more than economists expected. At the end of July, the number of available jobs across the U.S. fell to an estimated 7.18 million. That is down about 180,000 positions from June, according to a Bureau of Labor Statistics survey. The number of open jobs nationwide are now at the lowest level since September of last year.
The Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protections is warning grandparents against family imposter scams. A scam starts with someone calling and claiming to be a loved one. The caller then says they're in trouble and they need money quickly. They beg you to wire them money or cryptocurrency and to keep it a secret. To discuss the scam with your family, the agency recommends discussing the common signs of a scam, like demands for secrecy or untraceable money. Resist the urge to act right away. Hang up the phone and call the person that the scammer was claiming to be directly, and create a family passcode or password to know that a request for help is genuine. Well, next on Live at 4, Miss Wisconsin Teen USA stops by.
She's showing us how her role goes beyond the crown and why a nonprofit organization that helps people with intellectual and developmental disabilities is so close to her heart.
And it's really going to feel like fall overnight. Plus, some rain is on the way. Jacob shows us in the full forecast.
And Packers fans cannot stop talking about the Micah Parsons trade. Our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde tells us more about the former Cowboy defensive end and what to expect from the Lions.
We are taking a live look at Daytona Beach in Florida. I'm sorry that I have to tell you this. It is 82 degrees, partly sunny for those of you who are not ready for fall. Maybe you can book a flight and get some beach time.
It's usually that temperature here, and it'll come back.
Yeah.
Jacob will tell Morris about that later.
Well, when it comes to pageants, you see the glitz and the glam, but you might not always notice the heart and how contestants give back to their communities.
We've already heard so much about Autumn Gunderson from DeForest is this year's Miss Wisconsin Teen USA. Beyond her beautiful crown, she's here today to use her platform to highlight an organization that means a lot to her and a different honor that she's received as well. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us. First of all, what is it like to be given this name, Miss Wisconsin Teen?
I've been competing for the Miss Wisconsin Teen USA system for over 4 years now. So to be able to achieve this dream has just been an unreal experience, something that I've been dreaming of since I was a little girl. And I'm so excited to be competing on the Miss Teen USA stage. Fun fact, you are more likely to have a son compete in the Super Bowl than to have a daughter compete for Miss Teen USA.
Oh, really?
So it is a super rare, and I'm so grateful to be competing and to be representing Wisconsin.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And I know that you are also involved with an organization called Best Buddies.
Yes.
What is that and why is it so important to you?
Best Buddies is an organization that works with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. My cousin and my aunt both have autism, so growing up, I saw firsthand how they didn't feel included and how schools weren't doing enough to support students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I actually got involved with Best Buddies through pageantry, and through Best Buddies I've been able to meet my buddy named Kylie, who has autism. Her and I love to go to Starbucks, we love to go to the zoo, and she's just really one of my best friends, and I truly love hanging out with her.
So tell us a little bit more about Best Buddies. You were named Best Buddy.
Yeah, so I was nominated as a Best Buddies Champion of the Year, where I plan to raise over $40,000 for this incredible organization, which will go back into leadership development, programs for the schools, which I actually started a chapter at my school of DeForest, and it will go into supporting students with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
I've read on the site, Cindy Crawford said it's a lifeline to the joy of having and being a best friend.
Yes.
And you know, sometimes people can be isolated because of differences or different abilities. You know, is this when you're with Kylie and you're together? I mean, just seeing her face, does that like fill you up inside?
Yes, seeing how much fun and how much she's grown as a leader, being involved with the Best Buddies organization has truly made me feel so warm inside, so joyful that I've been able to change other kids' lives just getting this organization started at my school.
That's wonderful. Now we have to talk about the book that you wrote. Tell us about the book.
So I started a children's book called Rocks the Rottweiler Goes to School, which is all about anti-bullying and being inclusive to everyone. My platform is called Kindness Connects, where I go to different schools and talk about how students should be kind to one another and include everyone. And I use my personal experience of being bullied to make differences for other students. So through this book, I plan to go to all 72 counties in Wisconsin and leave a copy of my book in all schools across our state.
And you just said you had that experience, this beautiful Miss Wisconsin teen. So it happens to so many people, and that's an important message to spread as well.
That is a very important message, that it can happen to anybody, and no matter what you look like, you can be picked on, and that's what I experienced. And although it was a very tough time, I'm grateful that I had my amazing parents to help support me through being bullied, and now I'm able to make that difference for other students.
Thank you for spreading kindness in our communities, and thank you for coming to visit us here.
Thank you.
And you have tears in my eyes now. Thank you, Autumn, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Coming up on Live at 4, we take a look at a bizarre contest that pits enormous water lily pads against each other. What? And new steps toward glow-in-the-dark plants.
Of course.
Micah Parsons signed to the Packers less than a week ago, and he was on the field in pads today at Lambeau Field, signaling he could play in Sunday's season opener against the Lions.
Only two players, Jaden Reed and Nate Hobbs, did not practice because of injuries. Our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde brings us more from Lambeau Field.
I've always found one of the strangest things about the first practice after training camp ends is how few players are there. The Packers moved on from more than 20 players after the end of training camp with yesterday's cuts. And so as they go through practice right now behind me, there is some adjustment to be made. They are also continuing to adjust the roster. While Brian Gutekunst settled on his initial 53, there have been some changes since. One important development that we saw already at practice, though, the Packers' starting offensive line appears to be starting at left tackle Rasheed Walker, who fends off first-round pick from last year, Jordan Morgan, to keep his starting job, at least for now. Still, things can change between now and the start of the September 7th opener against the Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field and on Channel 3. That's it from here for now. We'll talk to the Packers in the locker room after practice. We'll have full coverage at channel3000.com. And don't forget, while you're there, make sure you sign up for the newsletter so you get our Packers coverage delivered directly to your inbox every single day. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Jason. This Sunday, the Packers are taking on the Lions, and you can watch that right here on Sunday on News 3 Now. Tune in at 3:30 for the CBS Sports broadcast of that season opener at Lambeau. And then on Saturday, the Badgers are trying to keep their winning streak going as they play the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders. Andrew Banstra will bring you the highlights that night. Plus, Wisconsin Huddle films its first episode of the season at Jay's Lounge Monday at 7.
And with all of this football talk, it's perfect time for the fall weather. We have Jacob Montesano in the studio with our firstborn weather forecast.
Thanks, Sarah. As we take a look at the 3 things you need to know, chilly tonight with those showers returning for Thursday night. But in general, we are going to continue to see cool temperatures. Highs will be in the 60s through the weekend. Now, looking at that rainfall forecast, not going to see any of that tonight. We'll see partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. But as we get into Thursday, we'll see a little bit more cloud cover develop, especially later in the day Thursday, and especially for areas north of Madison. And starting in the evening, we could see some light showers for those locations north of Madison, with a better chance of rain coming during the overnight hours. But just like I mentioned during the evening, the best chance of rain will be for areas off to the north. But considering this is going to be during the overnight hours and we're mostly going to see it in the form of some showers, this rainfall is not going to be too impactful. A lot of it's going to clear out by Friday morning. And although we are going to see some cloudy skies Friday, we aren't expecting much in the form of rain. Now, as far as temperatures, that is the big story. They are going to be very chilly, especially tonight with lows dropping into the lower 40s, maybe upper 30s for areas off to the north. And high temperatures tomorrow will be very easily below normal, lower 60s for highs, despite the fact that we are going to see a good amount of sunshine. Now, by the weekend, it is going to warm up a little bit, but still remaining below normal. However, during these afternoon hours, it's going to be very comfortable, especially considering by the time we get to the weekend, the winds will be a lot calmer, and we're going to see an abundance of sunshine, especially Sunday. And speaking of Sunday, Packers game. Sorry, I am a Bears fan. That's why I normally say the Bears. But Packers football, we're going to see plenty of sunshine. Overall, very nice weather. Definitely enjoy the game. Maybe bring a light jacket, but that will be just about it. Now, over the next 7 to 10 days, it's going to remain pretty nice. Really, outside of the next couple of days where we see the cool temperatures and the wind. The wind will calm down for the weekend, and then after the weekend, the temperatures will warm up with 70s across the board for much of next week.
Maybe you've heard of this. There's this unusual viral contest that pits enormous weight-bearing lily pads against one another.
Why not? And you won't believe how much weight the winner could bear.
Jeremy Roth reveals the winner in today's Take a Look at This.
Watch Botanical Gardens staff members crown a water lily weightlifting champion. Oh yes, it is a thing. Certain species of aquatic water lily leaves can grow up to an incredible 10 feet in diameter, and thanks to a dense network of radiating ribs and cross veins on their underside, these prodigious pads can also hold an impressive amount of weight. So impressive that staff at the Denver Botanic Gardens started an annual water lily weigh-off contest, challenging public gardens, zoos, and universities worldwide to load up their lilies to the point just before the burly botanicals buckle. Dozens of institutions participated, but in the end it was Bach Tower Gardens from Florida that took the top honors with a lily load of 183 pounds, edging out the reigning champ by a mere 1 pound. Bach Tower Gardens staff members took to social media to celebrate, literally standing tall on one of their winning weightlifting water lilies. Well, now they're just showing off. Here's some more plant-based news you may find illuminating. Scientists have created glow-in-the-dark houseplants they say can recharge with sunlight. A new study published in the scientific journal Matter says researchers injected succulents with a liquid compound fueled by strategically sized phosphor particles similar to those used in glow-in-the-dark toys. And just like those toys, the study showed the succulents didn't just shine, but could re-illuminate after exposure to sunlight. They even created an impressive wall of 56 gleaming plants they say was bright enough to read by. More research is needed to study the long-term effects on the plants, but the team says this simple and low-cost process could help pave the way for sustainable plant-based lighting systems. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Huh, the more you know.
That's really cool. I like the look of the lights.
Yeah.
And if they could, put that around my house, I'd take it.
Okay, it's something you can put that on your dream board. For this
yes,
one. Yeah.
Yes, and it could be decorative.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who want to go outside and see how much weight your lily pads can hold, you might want to bundle up a little bit.
Yeah, especially for the rest of this week, highs in the 60s, but a lot of next week we're going to have highs in the 70s, so it will warm back up.
Yeah, it will always warm back up.
We'll be right back. Now, tomorrow on Live at 4, we introduce you to one of our newest news and sports reporters. His name is Nash, and we'll find out more about him and when and where you'll see him on News 3 Now. And later on News 3 Now at 5, the city of Fitchburg could vote to get rid of its dispatch facilities. So who could step in to handle emergency calls when you need help, and what that could mean for the city's funding. Well, thanks for joining us on Live at 4 today. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.